It's time for the debate.
Thank you for joining us on Super Prime Time Max. I'm Niranjan, filling in for Arnab Goswami, who will be back on the show tomorrow. And at 8 p.m. today, we are coming to you with two big debates. At 8 p.m, on top of 8 p.m, that is, we have the big debate around a possible link, as alleged by the BJP, between Rahul Gandhi, George Soros, and the OCCRP. That's the allegation made by the BJP, and the Congress is suing the BJP for making that allegation. But are they off the mark when they claim that? Or is there more to the timeline as we see it? And at 8:30 p.m, what are the options for Pakistan? They now want a tri-series. They're completely cornered on the Champions Trophy. In fact, former Pakistani cricketers are telling their country and the PCB that they can even sue the ICC and take on Jai Shah if he feels Pakistan is not a safe country. It's a joke, isn't it? We're looking at these two subjects at 8 to 9. And at 9 p.m, we have two big debates when my colleague Traitor joins you live. Believe it or not, Yunus, a product of the deep state, a product of the American deep state, now the head of Bangladesh, wants to open up his borders to Pakistan. Visa-free entry for Pakistanis as Bangladesh tilts towards Pakistan. It's all happening. And at 9:30, we have the big debate around what Yogi Adityanath has said. Well, speaking about Bangladesh, drawing comparisons in Sambal, he's taken on Akhilesh Yadav and the Congress party. That and more coming up at 9:30. Here are the headlines this evening at 8 p.m.
मी देवेंद्र सरिता गंगाधरराव फडणवीस ईश्वर साक्ष शपथ घेतो की
In 2019, he said that he will be back as the chief minister. 5 years later, Devendra Fadnavis takes oath as the chief minister of Maharashtra. The Mahayuti 2.0 takes shape.
मी एकनाथ गंगूबाई संभाजी शिंदे ईश्वर साक्ष शपथ घेतो की महाराष्ट्र राज्याचा उपमुख्यमंत्री म्हणून माझ्या विचारार्थ आणली जाईल.
The suspense has ended. Eknath Shinde takes oath as the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Chief Minister, flanked by two deputies, hold their first cabinet meeting in Mumbai.
जॉर्ज सोरोस और राहुल गांधी ये एक ही हैं। राहुल ही जॉर्ज है और जॉर्ज का एजेंडा ही राहुल का एजेंडा है।
BJP MP Sambit Patra calls Rahul Gandhi a traitor of the highest order, alleging a link between the Congress, international forces including George Soros and OCCRP, saying they're trying to destabilize India. The Congress has asked the Speaker of the LoP Sabha to act against Sambit Patra. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath says what Mughal ruler Babar's army did in Ayodhya and Sambal is what is happening in Bangladesh. Akhilesh hits back, says, get your DNA checked.
One, zero.
Mission accomplished for ISRO, which has successfully launched the European Space Agency's Proba 3 mission, which aims to enhance understanding of the sun's corona. Nearly 20 countries came together to develop Proba 3. ISRO was the carrier. We've done it successfully. And on top of 8 p.m, ladies and gentlemen, do you recall the opposition's relentless outcry over the alleged Pegasus snooping scandal? You will remember that, accusing the Modi government of running a surveillance state. Or the dramatic Adani-JPC standoff fueled by the Hindenburg report that played out in Parliament last year. Now, both controversies trace back to a common source: the Organised Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, or the OCCRP. Once glorified by the Congress party as a paragon of investigative journalism, the OCCRP has now been exposed as a tool of the US deep state, propped up by American dollars to serve geopolitical agendas. Now, this is not speculation. Mediapart, a French investigative publication, has revealed OCCRP's alarming financial and administrative dependence on the American government. Now, here's what the findings show. Number one, the US government provides over half of OCCRP's annual funding. Number two, Washington exercises veto power over key personnel decisions within the OCCRP. Number three, a significant portion of funding is directed toward investigations in nations deemed adversarial to American interests. And number four, in 2023 alone, $11.7 million was funneled into OCCRP by the American government, covering 53% of its expenses. So US government is the biggest stakeholder. Far from being an independent newsroom, the OCCRP operates as a sophisticated arm of US geopolitical strategy. Its narratives designed to weaken sovereign nations like India under the guise of investigative journalism. And today, the BJP called out Rahul Gandhi. It was Sambit Patra who called out Rahul Gandhi today, labeling him for the first time, the BJP sticking its neck out, directly linking Rahul Gandhi to the OCCRP, calling him a traitor, accusing the Congress of aligning with external forces against our national interests. It's a very serious charge. His criticism came amid growing concerns about coordinated attempts by the deep state to destabilize India. From Pegasus to Hindenburg, the opposition has parroted the deep state playbook. Betraying national priorities is the allegation. Take a look at the story and then we debate. Are these facts?
Just 2 days after Republic exposed the deep state link to opposition's agenda ahead of the winter session of Parliament, the OCCRP-Soros and opposition link has become the nation's #1 talking point.
Viewers, do you remember the opposition's Pegasus scam hue and cry in Parliament, in which they alleged that there had been a mega snoopgate by the Modi government? Or do you remember the entire Adani-JPC showdown that the opposition had in Parliament last year after the Hindenburg saga? You know, there was one mastermind behind both of those reports. It's an organization called the Organised Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, or the OCCRP, which according to the Congress party was a beacon of investigative journalism. Rubbish. As it turns out, this long celebrated so-called crusader against corruption, OCCRP, is nothing but an obvious front of the US deep state machinery stuffed with American dollars inside out.
Today, the matter reached the Rajya Sabha, where BJP MP Trivedi raised the issue in the House, highlighting the surprising timings of foreign reports targeting India right ahead of Parliament sessions.
जब से भारत श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में एक उभरती हुई सामरिक, आर्थिक और कूटनीतिक शक्ति बनकर उभरा है, तब से यह बहुत सहज रूप से देखा जाने लगा है, विशेषकर विगत 3 वर्षों से विदेश की बहुत सी ऐसी गतिविधियां हैं जो भारत की व्यवस्था के आर्थिक पक्ष, सामाजिक पक्ष पर आक्रमण कर रही हैं। मैं सिर्फ एक संयोग बता रहा हूं, भारतीय फार्मर्स के बारे में रिपोर्ट आती है 3 फरवरी 2021, बजट सत्र है 29 जनवरी 2021। 31 जनवरी 2023 से भारत की संसद का बजट सत्र शुरू होता है और 24 जनवरी 2023 को हिंडनबर्ग रिपोर्ट आती है। जनवरी 2023 में भारत की संसद का सत्र शुरू होता है और 17 जनवरी 2023 को बीबीसी की डॉक्यूमेंट्री आती है, इंडिया द मोदी क्वेश्चन। 20 जुलाई 2023 को भारत की संसद का सत्र शुरू होता है और मणिपुर वायलेंस का वीडियो 19 जुलाई 2023 ठीक एक दिन पहले जारी होता है।
Taking its offensive even further, the BJP held a major press conference raising some tough questions on what they called Congress triangular nexus.
जॉर्ज सोरोस और राहुल गांधी ये एक ही हैं। राहुल ही जॉर्ज है और जॉर्ज का एजेंडा ही राहुल का एजेंडा है। जो सोरोस चाहता है वही राहुल चाहते हैं। त्रिकोण के जो आखिरी कोने में तो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण कोना जो हिंदुस्तान से संबंध रखता है, उस कोने में राहुल गांधी है, ट्रेटर ऑफ द हाईएस्ट ऑर्डर।
The Congress remained defiant on the issue, hitting back at the BJP instead.
तरस तक नहीं आनी चाहिए मुझे तो संबित पात्रा जी और उनके जैसे मानसिकता रखने वाले लोगों को के प्रति और वैसे विचारों को व्यक्त करने वाले लोगों के प्रति। वो कहना चाह रहे थे देशभक्त ऑफ द हाईएस्ट ऑर्डर, कह गए ट्रेटर क्योंकि उनकी मजबूरी है।
While the Congress and BJP exchanged political fire over the OCCRP report, the question remains, is the deep state link to opposition agenda finally unmasked?
And joining us on the debate this evening at 8 p.m, I have Savio Rodriguez, who's the editor-in-chief of Goa Chronicle, on the show this evening, along with Abhijit Chavda, who's a geopolitical strategist. I have Suhail Seth is the managing partner, Council India and Brand Guru. I have Kamru Zaman Chowdhury, a political analyst who leans towards the opposition, Gyanendra Mishra, political analyst, and Pankaj Sharma, senior journalist, also Congress leaning, joining us on the show this evening. I'd like to start with Suhail and get the opening comment from him. Suhail, the fact that nearly $50 million to the OCCRP till date. That's over 50% of its funding in all. Makes it a majority stakeholder at the OCCRP, and the US government has gone on record. In fact, I have a quote here. The OCCRP, Samantha Power, the administration head of USAID, has described it as a partner of the US government. Now, my question is, Suhail, it is a hit job by the American government. Hit job by Americans on India, and they've done it again and again. Our government has not, I don't know what our government has done, frankly, on this issue, but I find it very, very coincidental that the Congress party has been their tack team in India. How do you see this issue play out? Is there any doubt?
So, there are three things here. I wouldn't go so far to brand Rahul Gandhi as a traitor or something like that, but is he supping with the devil without knowing he's supping with the devil? The chances are high because he's intellectually quite innocent in that respect. Number two, the funding by the deep state of America is a well-known practice. I mean, please don't imagine America to be this virtuous country. They are absolute rogues. They've always been rogues. They have stoked wars. They have stoked fires. They hate countries that are successful, and which is why India is at the receiving end. It's not that they love India less, but they love America more. They love Americanism more. They love American capitalism more. Remember, selfishness, if it had an acronym, the acronym would be the United States of America. Third, I don't think the Indian government needs to respond to every barking dog. You know, when the caravan moves, dogs bark, but you don't stop the caravan. It is quite clear, and you've rightly alluded to it, Niranjan, in your opening remarks, that people recognize the value of the deep state. On December 1, Joe Biden pardons his son. In any other country, there would have people been up in arms. Oh my God, nepotism, blah, blah, blah. Americans don't care. Americans don't care because the deep state runs America. Democracy is a sham there. And that's why I'm happy that Trump will be back and destroy, hopefully, that deep state element. I also believe that it would be erroneous to imagine that everything that is, anti-India has to be driven by George Soros. We give George Soros far too much of credit that he deserves. Is he a rogue? It has been established. He made his fortunes by actually swindling through a currency crisis. So it's not as if he's always said that he's the driven snow. I think two things need to be done. One is the government of India needs to launch a formal investigation and then put it out in the public domain so that the public is not befuddled. See, whatever Rahul Gandhi says, Indians by and large, we're conspiracy lovers. We love a conspiracy. So that needs to be put to bed. The second is that you need to recognize that the attacks on India are because we are successful. If we were a failed state, nothing of this would have happened. Have you ever seen an attack of this nature on Pakistan? No. Have you seen an attack of this nature on Sri Lanka? No. Why India? Because India over the last 10 years under Narendra Modi has established a muscular foreign policy. Whether you agree with that foreign policy or not is irrelevant. The fact is India today sits at the high table on its own terms. It is not a dog's body of any other nation or any other alignment. So I think there is a deep state issue. They are envious of our progress. They don't know how to handle it. They believe that by getting some allies within parliament or outside, they'll be able to create a voice which is both creating suspicion and creating envy or empathy for the deep state. But I don't think that's going to happen in a hurry.
Yeah. And let me get in the opening comment from the other side from Kamru Chaudhary. Kamru, see, it's obviously not without a timeline which is matching, right? Kamru, I have the timeline here. Let me tell you, right? In August 23, the Congress official Twitter handle posted a message that read, OCCRP report alleges Adani Group secretly invested millions in its own shares, blah, blah, blah. Same day, August 2023, Aam Aadmi Party holds a news conference. November 2023, Jairam Ramesh makes puts out a tweet relying on OCCRP report again when he goes on to claim that Adani Associates controls opaque shell companies, right? And then you have Hindenburg, right? And then you have OCCRP link there as well. Hindenburg again a second time in August 2023 when that is the Congress party relied on the OCCRP report. My question is, I mean, the timeline matches, Kamru. There seems to be some understanding, and you all have praised OCCRP in the past. So questions are legitimate whether you're working in tandem with OCCRP. You have every right to if you're doing that. But also it's hypocritical because when the French or a part of the French media puts out a report on Rafale, you guys go to town hailing the French media. It's the French media, my friend. There is claimed a link between the OCCRP and the US government. So which part of the French media do you trust in the Congress?
No, Niranjan, the basic important and the first point, let me point out here, attack on Adani is not an attack on India. That's the opening remark from my side. And why I say this, let me explain to you. When we talk about the OCCRP or the media parts report, then let us also remember Sushen Gupta. I believe you as a journalist, you know who Sushen Gupta was. He obtained sensitive documents from the Ministry of Defense in 2015. The media part report says this. We have discounted everybody. The deep state in India said that, look, Adani is progressing, India is progressing, so these type of stories are being planted in the international media. We have discounted every report that Financial Times has published or the Guardian has published out here. But the moot question out here is the Department of Justice a barking dog? They have raised serious charges. No, wait. Don't get agitated, sir. Suhail bhai, let me finish my point.
The Department of Justice is the most weaponized department, my dear friend.
Okay.
Joe Biden, Biden.
No, I understand, Suhail bhai. I understand where you are coming from. Because you get agitated just because somebody has tried to expose Adani. If you feel that Adani. No, Niranjan, I can't speak one over the other. Let me finish my point. You can counter after that. You can counter me after that.
I'm sorry.
On 20th of October, on 20th of November, Maharashtra was having its last phase of the elections. One day prior to that, an AI-generated audio clip was circulated with a Bitcoin scam seemingly happening in Maharashtra among the opposition leaders. That same day itself, ED was interested to investigate the Bitcoin scam. They made some arrest. I don't know exactly what happened to the investigation right now. But serious allegations on a bribery scandal made against the Adani Group. Hindenburg made some allegations. I agree that Hindenburg is a short seller. He is here to do business by shorting some companies, by alleging some. But the Department of Justice of the official United States of America citing some allegations against Adani Group on bribery involving government officials, involving power contracts. So is it not imperative upon the government of India to investigate? We had raised allegations against Madhavi Bush, the present SEBI chairman. The government refuses to investigate it. Why? If you are so clean, please order and investigate. And you tell Rahul Gandhi as Gaddar, Kamru Chaudhary as Gaddar, we'll place a placard in front of the parliament and say, I am a Gaddar. Because we have been proved wrong on Adani. Why don't you go into that?
Yeah. Kamru, 1 second. Kamru, can I just... Okay. Quick 20-second rebuttal. Suhail, I'll get the others in. I know you... Okay.
Very quickly, I do not think Kamru is a traitor. I do not think Rahul Gandhi is a traitor. Do they have an agenda? I know Kamru doesn't, because he's not that clever. Not clever as in... Right, but you're not you're not mercurially machinated. You're not Machiavellian. Number two, let me tell you...
My hairs are yet to grey, sir. Like
Kamru, you,
I
my
believe
friend,
when my hair will grey, I believe I will also look like you somewhat. If you are having curly hair, I am also having curly hair.
Oh, you have less hair, I have grey hair. Now let me... My friend, you're in denial if you believe that America's justice system is not weaponized. Rajat Gupta, Indian, Rajaratnam, Sri Lankan, went through hell in the Goldman Sachs scam. Number one. Number two, I'm saying a person you love, Joe Biden, on December the 1st, in one paragraph has said the following: the American justice system is infected.
Yes.
It is critically controlled.
Yeah.
And I have no faith, which is why I'm taking this to the American people. I'm not saying
that's what the opposition is saying out here. All the investigations,
I interrupted you, but then I withdrew. Now don't interrupt me. We are all from Bengal. Second point is, no one's case is that you're a traitor or Rahul Gandhi is a traitor. Sometimes our wisdom allows us to believe things that are not true. You're right. Was there investigation? You believe in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of India went into the Adani allegation. Kamru or Savio. The Supreme Court. Now you don't believe the Supreme Court.
They don't.
You only believe three people. Financial Times, Department of
No, they used to. What? No, I'm correcting you, Suhail. Suhail, I'm correcting you. No, Suhail, I'm correcting you. Suhail, can I correct you, please? You're wrong. You're way off the mark, I'll tell you. They used to believe the judiciary. They used to. Justice Chandrachud, they would swear by Justice Chandrachud, but today they are all attacking former Chief Justice of India, Chandrachud. Right? On social media, openly, leaders of the opposition. Now, secondly, you made a comment, Suhail. Suhail made a comment that, we all like to target George Soros because we, as Indians, love a good conspiracy. Now, I want to take this to my friend Savio. Savio, I disagree with Suhail there because I'll tell you, I went through the details, right? The OCCRP is not just funded by the US government. It's funded by George Soros and the Open Society Foundation. And wait a second, it gets better. He has donated millions of dollars, and look at what the OCCRP, US government, and George Soros. What have they targeted? They've targeted Adani not once, twice, again and again. Secondly, look at what else they've targeted. I have a report here. They were involved in the entire Hindenburg episode. They were involved in the Pegasus episode, right? Once again before a parliament session. Pegasus, Hindenburg, Adani first episode. Now wait, it gets better. Congress discredited Covaxin. Remember the Covaxin episode in the height of the COVID, right? They discredited Covaxin. Who was the face of the campaign against Covaxin? Wait a second, it was OCCRP, the same OCCRP funded by America, funded by George Soros, right? Tag team Congress here targeted Covaxin. I have the report as well, I won't get into the details. Farmers protest. Before I get to the farmers protest, I want to get in Savio. It gets better, it gets deeper. Savio.
To my fellow panelists, let me give you a piece of information that you may or may not be aware of. One of the important characters in this entire investigation that has come out is a lady by the name of Samantha Powers. Now, Samantha Powers herself, being a part of the US aid, has categorically stated that the OCCRP is a partner of the United States government. Now, why do I bring up Samantha Powers? Samantha Powers was in Uzbekistan in the last, last week of October in 2023. Coincidentally, according to intelligence circles themselves, they have not made it public, but within the intelligence circles, there is a talk that Rahul Gandhi too was in Uzbekistan around the same time and met with Samantha Powers. So that's character number one. Samantha Powers and her link to OCCRP, and she's calling it a part of the United States government.
Yes.
The second is George Soros. George Soros's love and hate for India is quite evident with what he said at Davos, where he set aside $1 billion to fight nationalism. Now, somebody like a George Soros has a problem with nationalism because nationalism brings people together under a common thought process and a common principle of how a nation has to progress. And that is what he has a problem with. But the third most important aspect that needs to be brought out is what Sambit Patra called Rahul Gandhi, the traitor of the highest order. Unfortunately, he has called him that today. He should have been called the traitor of the highest order when he signed the MOU with the International Liaison Department of China way back in 2008, thereby giving benefit to the Chinese MSME companies from 2008 right up to 2013 that killed the Indian MSME companies. He should have been called a traitor then. He should have been called a traitor when he met up with Donald Trump.
You're going to get a notice, my friend. I just want to warn you that you're going to get a notice. And
I'm all right with the notice.
One minute. I'll tell you, you're going to get a notice from the Congress party, and the reason I'm saying that is because the Congress party has already sent a notice. 1 minute. Come on, 1 second. Just hold on.
Hardly matters.
1 minute. No, 1 minute. Three. Kamaru, hold on, because I have three speakers who haven't said a word. I just quickly want to go across to them, right? So, Savio, before I get in Pankaj Sharma, I want to tell you, you're going to get a notice, and that is because the Congress party is very upset with what Sambit Patra said. They have written to the speaker saying that this is slanderous. They've described it as something very offensive.
To make the MOU public.
No, 1 minute. Yeah, I agree with you. Actually, let me take that question to Pankaj Sharma. Let me take that question to Pankaj Sharma because he hasn't spoken yet. Pankaj Sharma, you see, I mean, of course, that's the role of the opposition. Every time there's a report which they like targeting the government or friends of the government or somebody who is seen as close to the government, the Congress is bound to latch on to it. It's done its job. But isn't it ironic that just before every parliament session, these hit jobs have happened? And the Congress party has latched on to these hit jobs.
If this is the level of thought process of BJP spokesperson, what one can say? If you are calling Rahul Gandhi highest order, the entire India believes that the divisive forces busy in prompting social polarization for their electoral benefits are the biggest betrayer and backstabber of most order. They are demolishing every foundation of our democratic polity day and night. In reality, deep state run by RSS BJP is destabilizing India. And as it is mentioned that this, this organization, OCCRP, is part of United States government. That means when it is getting funds from USAID. USAID was established in 1961 by President Kennedy. That means you are trying to say that after him, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Jimmy Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Obama, Trump, Biden, everyone, each of them has been working against India. They all were working as hitmen against India. That is what you believe in. What can I say? So, this Pratham Education Foundation, which is working in India, it is getting funds from USAID. In how many BJP ruled states Pratham Education Foundation is active? Do you know this? So, I mean, calling Rahul Gandhi traitor is something which is so disgusting.
Make the MOU public, yes. Mr. Sharma.
Make the MOU public. He's saying make the MOU public. I'll explain. I'll explain.
With how many like-minded political parties of the world BJP has signed the MOUs?
One minute. No, 1 minute. MOU. Pankaj,
there is something called party-to-party relationship.
BJP has not signed an MOU
1 minute.
with the international life.
Savio, 1 second. Savio, 1 second.
There is something called party-to-party relationship with like-minded parties.
So make it public.
BJP has also signed so many MOUs, so many political parties in the world.
Against a foreign covert intelligence agency.
1 minute. I want to bring in.
RMD is a foreign.
Can I take that point forward?
Agency.
Can I take that point forward, Savio? Your point. I'm taking to Abhijit. Abhijit, see, we've debated on this channel, on this network for several years now. And this has been such a big story. We broke that picture actually when that picture came out. I still remember it was during COVID. After the attack in Galwan, I remember after the attack in Galwan, when that picture came out and questions were raised, I remember Mahesh Jethmalani was very, very vocal on that issue, where you can see Rahul Gandhi seated, signing the document, and behind him standing was Sonia Gandhi and Anand Sharma, right? And then you had Xi Jinping and a few other Chinese leaders. And till date, we don't know what that document was all about. But what we do know is that there were several such suspicious meetings, and the reason I'm calling it suspicious is, look at the recent past. Rahul Gandhi meets this gentleman called Donald Lu during his US visit, right? And I'm talking about as recent as September 2024. Donald Lu. And Donald Lu is no ordinary man. He's seen as a chief architect of the episode when Imran Khan was ousted, and we know about the kind of role that he may have played in Bangladesh. It's being openly reported, the regime change operation, right? Abhijit, you know one or two about this issue. Can you tell our viewers why you find it suspicious?
Yes, indeed. It's interesting that you mentioned Imran Khan and Bangladesh. So the fact is that there is no such thing as free, unaffiliated, independent media in the US or even NGOs. Whether it is OCCRP, whether it's USAID, whether it's the National Endowment for Democracy, these organizations all serve the purpose of the United States and its geopolitical agenda. Now, the National Endowment for Democracy should actually be called the National Endowment for Regime Change. So all of these organizations, they create a conducive climate that supports the U.S. foreign policy and creates the right kind of public opinion that certain things can be done before as well as after a certain regime change operation. So, for example, U.S. commentators and think tanks have been accusing India for a very long time of democratic backsliding. But the U.S. will carry out regime change operations in Pakistan, in Ukraine, in Bangladesh. There's something happening in Georgia as well right now. But the same organizations will keep quiet when the president of the US occupied South Korea attempts an undemocratic coup, or when there's a regime change operation in Ukraine or Bangladesh. They will keep quiet about this. Now, another point I would like to speak about is George Soros. Some people could possibly say that Indians have a fixation with George Soros. But the fact is that George Soros is not the only US billionaire who funds these anti-India and undemocratic activities. I will not take names, but there are many American billionaires who are also funding various such activities. And I would even say that there could be certain Indian billionaires who could be funding such activities as well. You know, funding various American organizations that were then reroute the funding to various regime change operations and anti-India opinion-building activities. So we have to be very aware of this. And I would also, at the end, say that it's not just about George Soros and these organizations. We should also keep an eye on foreign organizations that are participating in infrastructure building activities in India, and we need to see the money trail. How many of these are affiliated with various US departments, government organizations, and you could say three-letter agencies. So there's a whole lot that's happening. One could say that India is kind of under pressure from the US. To some extent, India may even be compromised, and that's what we are combating right now.
Yeah. I want to get in. Gyanendra Mishra. Gyanendra Mishra, I forgot to mention Rahul Gandhi meeting Ilan Humar as well.
He mentioned Donald Lu.
Yes.
Can he please tell us, when Donald Lu was here in September in Delhi, how many officials of Ministry of External Affairs he met? Are all of them working against India? Please me officials.
So
do not lose meeting with someone.
Pankaj,
how can you say?
Okay, can I say it, Pankaj? There's a difference between, for example, okay, taking your what you said forward. There's a difference between Jaishankar, S. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister, going to Pakistan as part of a summit and shaking hands with the Pakistani Prime Minister as courtesy, and a difference between that and leader of India's opposition traveling to America, having a meeting with Donald Lu, photos of which, by the way, are not available, I think, and then One minute.
Is LoP not entitled to meet Donald Lu, who is the Assistant Secretary of State?
Correct.
The United States.
He is entitled to meet.
Both are on constitutional official positions.
He's entitled to meet. He's entitled to meet, and he also met Ilhan Omar. You know who Ilhan Omar is, right?
Ilhan Omar is no terrorist. Ilhan Omar is no terrorist.
Okay. You don't know who Ilhan Omar is? Sir, okay, let me tell you. Ilhan Omar, one minute. Ilhan Omar, sir, one minute. I'm just taking this forward. I want to get in Gyanendra Mishra. I want to respond to what Pankaj asked me, and I'm giving it to Gyanendra Mishra. Ilhan Omar is an anti-India lawmaker, and the reason I'm calling her anti-India is because she went to POK, Pakistan Occupied Kashmir. Her trip was funded by the Pakistani government. She passed a resolution condemning, and she claimed there were human rights violations in India. Same Ilhan Omar, who has become famous accusing the Prime Minister of criminalizing the act of being a Muslim in India. Same Ilhan Omar who sympathizes... One minute. The same Ilhan Omar who sympathizes with anti-India protests. If there's an anti-India protest anywhere in America, Ilhan Omar is their icon, poster girl to go to, right? You judge somebody by the kind of company they keep, right, Pankaj Sharma ji? I'm saying there's a difference between... I'm saying there's a difference between...
She went designated terrorist.
I am not calling her a terrorist. I'm not calling anybody a traitor or a terrorist. But I want to get Gyanendra Mishra's response to this. Gyanendra Mishra, see, somewhere, when you try and look at this, right? Congress, China MOU, which by the way, this one says is normal party-to-party agreements that are signed, right? And you see Hindenburg, you see Adani, you see Covaxin, you see these meetings with the so-called people who engineer regime changes across the world, and then you meet people who are anti-Modi, and you're seen mostly with these people, right? And then you're holding secret meetings with the Chinese. For anybody watching this show, for a normal viewer, right, who's consuming news, how do you explain the kind of company that Rahul Gandhi has kept, or his party has kept?
No, it is for the Rahul Gandhi to speak about it. But first of all, I will come to the start of the debate. What today is the topic is basically this Mediaport report, and such an hue and cry is being made out of the Mediaport report. So first of all, we need to understand that is what Mediaport has reported is something is secret, which was not known to the world. I think what Mediaport is telling today is very much a public information in the US. You go to the OCCRP website and they provide the list of donors to the OCCRP. OCCRP is a non-profit. Just give me 2-3 minutes.
Yes,
you
give
the sites to speak for a long time.
Please.
OCCRP is basically an American non-profit. And under the American rule, the statutory provision of IRS 900 form need to be filled where you have to provide the list of donors, even the insignificant donors, as a part of your statutory filing. So the first important part of this debate is that what Mediaport is reported today, and of which we are making in such an hue and cry, was very much in public information. Now you look at the track record of OCCRP, because we are painting as if that OCCRP has been conceived to make an anti-India propaganda. OCCRP is working for almost last 20 years in the public domain, and basis their report, the total money out of corrupt practices which has been recovered across the different countries is more than $17 billion. And when you look at this money, 80% of this report and money is related to either American companies or the companies and countries which are developed and very.
Can I just quickly, Gyanendra, can I quickly rebut you there?
Yes.
I didn't see this the world's best investigative body called OCCRP publish anywhere in any year a report on Hunter Biden.
Correct.
Hunter Biden, and this is fantastic. OCCRP is the paragon of investigative journalism. OCCRP is the paragon of investigative journalism. Gets the Biden dollars. 1 minute. Gets the Biden dollars. Does nothing about Hunter Biden, who was hired by a Ukrainian company to lobby with Joe Biden and remove those who are calling out the corruption in Ukraine, and then he was getting money from Ukraine. And all the crimes that he's accused of, OCCRP, which is the paragon on investigative journalism in America, speaking about the corruption in the world, has no guts to name Hunter Biden. It gets better. And Joe Biden, the great president of America, pardons his son, Hunter Biden. Pardons.
No, Niranjan,
Please stop the sham on us, I'm going to. Suhail, I heard you outside, but this is a sham. Please don't give us lectures about what OCCRP is.
No, this is important.
Suhail, I'm getting Suhail in. Lecture mat dijiye, sir ji, please. Suhail.
Gyanendra, relax. With due respect to these three people, let me destroy them one after the other.
Suhail.
I am sure.
Let's start with Pankaj. Let me give Pankaj a history lesson of America. It doesn't matter what happened in 1961. Do you remember the Bay of Pigs? Do you remember the CIA's covert operations in Cuba? Do you remember the standoff between Khrushchev and John F. Kennedy? You don't remember. You're saying Johnson, Nixon. Do you remember Watergate? Was the deep state involved or not? It was. Nixon had to resign. Then you had Gerald Ford. You had Bill Clinton issue a pardon to his friend who was a fugitive living in Switzerland. So please don't give us moral lessons on how good the United States is. They are a rogue, corrupt nation, as roguish and corrupt as any nation should be. I didn't interrupt you. Number two, they will always look after their own interest, as they should. There is no point blaming America. They will look after their interest. My objection is how most of you people, not you, but most of these so-called false woke rubbish hold America as this paragon of virtue. Oh, look at democracy. The flame of democracy is best lit and preserved there. That is the kind of nonsense we have to avoid. Now let's come to Gyanendra. He says the OCCRP has been in existence for 20 years. How is it relevant? How is it relevant? How many years? ISIS has been in existence for 20 years. Would you do business with ISIS? No, because you know what they're all about. We have to figure out whether there is any attempt to sabotage Indian interest. That is our purpose. Pankaj made a very important point. Adani is not India. Of course, Adani is not India, but Adani is Indian. Adani is building infrastructure. Every company, there are such great companies. Hero is the largest motorcycle, two-wheeler company in the world. Would you like an attack on Indian companies which is fueled by Americans who are threatened of manufacturing jobs going out? It's the same America which launched a campaign against China, if you remember. Number three, and I will end with this. It is not Niranjan's point or Savio's point or my point that everyone is corrupt. The point we are making is that there is an agenda. The sooner you come to realize that there is an agenda at work against India, the better off we will be. Today, we are putting blinkers on. We have decided that everything in India is bad and we need validation from some foreign country. And that foreign country that you've decided has to be America. Arey bhai, even if you have to choose your validators, choose them well, na? Why do you choose people who you know are corrupt? The deep state is involved. Niranjan talked about Biden. Biden has issued a pardon. Donald Trump was indicted by a judge in New York, which is a non-federal court. It's a state court. That judge, upon Donald Trump's re-election, has withdrawn the case. You tell me, is that justice? I will leave you only with one thought, since he's one of your idols also. Amartya Sen, in a brilliant book called The Idea of Justice, says, ultimately, justice is about fairness. The difference between Niti and Nyay. Niti is process, Nyay is justice. So, Pankaj, I'm not saying that you're a traitor, Kamru is a traitor, Gyanendra is. No, that's not my contention. My contention is, let's analyze who is working against India, against Indian interests, and against the progress that India has made. That's my limited point.
Why we feel bad when we see what's happening. I'll make one point, Kamru, I'm coming to you. I'm coming straight to you. In fact, you know what I've done? I've dropped the second debate. It was the India versus Pakistan debate on the Champions Trophy. There are developments. I'm dropping that debate. Dropped it. Dropped it. Now listen to me. You know why I feel bad, Kamru? I'll tell you why. Listen to me carefully. You guys, that is the Congress party, discredit Covaxin. Remember? You discredited Covaxin. I have a tweet of Shashi Tharoor here. I'm going to read out this tweet. It's a tweet of Shashi Tharoor that I have here. I'm going to read it out. Okay? Shashi Tharoor said, the Covaxin has not yet had phase 3 trials. Approval was premature. Could be dangerous. Dr. Harshvardhan should please clarify. Its use should be avoided till full trials are over. India can start with the AstraZeneca vaccine. He said, India can start with the AstraZeneca vaccine in the meantime. It was in 2021 when OCCRP published a report stating that Brazil had decided to cancel a significant $324 million contract for Covaxin due to allegations of irregularities, corruption. Like in the case of Adani, you had some smaller countries like Kenya, etc., cancelling deals, right? They created this hawa, said Brazil cancelled everything. They said, go for AstraZeneca. I have the tweet, Suhail. They said, go for AstraZeneca. You know what AstraZeneca did? And we all believed, you know, many people fell for it. There was a huge scare. You know what AstraZeneca did this year in May? AstraZeneca admitted, sir, Kamru sir, that its COVID vaccine, Covishield, can cause a rare side effect. They went on record and admitted it. You guys demonized, that is the Congress party demonized Covaxin. And I can count the number of debates we did on Covaxin. Right?
In India,
you guys wanted AstraZeneca. Based on OCCRP report, you guys wanted AstraZeneca. AstraZeneca in May this year has said, our vaccine caused side effect.
Don't get agitated and don't try to change the goalpost. Let me just counter.
This is an OCCRP report, sir.
Wait. 2 points let me counter first. First point, the panel on the opposite side has repeatedly criticized Congress party's relation with the China's political party.
I have not said a thing.
It's a part of the. I am not pointing to you, sir. I am not pointing to you. It's in the debate. The panel has come out. The panel. Let's see.
I'm always on your side.
Okay. Now the panel must answer the simple question: what was JP Nadda and Ram Madhav doing and visiting CCP officials in India? Why was Nitin Gadkari, who led a very big delegation of BJP leaders, visited in January 2011, visited China? Why was
Savio, 1 second. Savio, 1 second. Savio, 1 second. No, Kamru. Savio, 1 second. Savio, 1 minute. Savio, 1 minute. Savio, wait. Savio, wait. I want to hold on. Savio, wait. I want to pin down Kamru on that point.
Why did JP
Kamru is a very well-behaved panelist. Kamru is a very well-behaved panelist. He listens to the question and he answers the question. So I'm asking that question again. I'm rephrasing my question in 5 seconds. OCCRP in 2021 said Covaxin was bad, AstraZeneca is good. Congress party backed AstraZeneca in 2021. Yes or no, Kamru?
So, no, wait. That means Indian government should be stopping funding.
I have a tweet of Shashi Tharoor.
OCCRP. No, Indian government should stop funding OCCRP.
No, I'm not saying that, sir. I'm asking you, did you back AstraZeneca or not?
I'm asking you. Soros is funding OCCRP.
I'm asking you.
I'm saying BJP government is funding OCCRP.
Did you back AstraZeneca?
Because Indian government is funding the United Nations Development Fund.
Did you back AstraZeneca? Did you back AstraZeneca?
United Nations Development Fund. So if India is so concerned about OCCRP, it should be stopping the funding to the United Nations Development Fund, indirectly the OCCRP. Please get your facts right. In China, you said that Congress is hobnobbing with the Communist Party of China. So why was the BJP delegation going to China to train and see how the Chinese Communist Party is building up its better?
That's the problem with
Rahul
Gandhi.
What is your relation
That's
with the Chinese Communist Party? You need to answer. The nation wants to know. Nation wants to know, Mr. Rodriguez, what is the connection between BJP and the Communist Party of China?
I'm asking you 1 minute.
Kamru, you do not have any answer.
Okay, let me ask Pankaj. Kamru, I expected you. Kamru, I felt you would answer my question. I honestly felt
that you can get.
Kamru, I gave you all the time. I really felt you would answer my question. You didn't. Let me try asking Pankaj. Pankaj ji, Shashi Tharoor ka tweet hai mere haath mein. I read out the tweet. The tweet is here, right here, right? OCCRP discredited Covaxin and batted for AstraZeneca. Congress did the same in 2021. Did Congress question Covaxin, back AstraZeneca, yes or no, sir? Pankaj ji.
There were very serious apprehensions about the vaccines those days. You are well aware of that. And now we are facing the after effects of those vaccines. Just
after effects of what vaccine? 1 minute. Pankaj ji, after effects of what vaccine?
There were apprehensions. You know, vaccines.
Yeah. I'll tell you which vaccine. You said after effects of what vaccine? I will tell you, sir. After effects of the AstraZeneca vaccine as admitted by AstraZeneca. You fear-mongered about Covaxin, turned out to be just fine. It was AstraZeneca.
There were apprehensions about all the vaccines that time.
No, but it turned out that the vaccine that Congress Party officially
with a very short notice.
Congress Party officially lobbied for AstraZeneca.
That vaccines cannot be produced in such a short time.
Leaders of the Congress Party officially, I'm not saying Congress Party, leaders of the Congress Party officially lobbied for AstraZeneca, which this year in May 2024 admitted that its COVID vaccine, the Covishield, can cause a rare side effect. I'm not saying it, sir. They said it. They've admitted it. Can you imagine how many millions of people in India have taken that vaccine? I'll give the last word to Suhail on that.
No one's contention, Pankaj, is about the vaccine. The doubt was on Indian capability. That Indian capability was not proper. When you doubt Indian capability, you create an indictment of, therefore, anything that is Indian. Your anger was not about Covishield. Your surprise was how could India under Narendra Modi or whoever else produce this?
Prior to Narendra Modi came, India was known as the pharmacy of the world.
Person, you just got a compliment.
Sohail bhai, why are you India was the pharmacy of the world prior to Bharatiya Janata Party coming to power, even Bharatiya Janata Party came into existence.
Since you've been to a decent college, let me quote Shakespeare. The problem with the Congress is it's not that they love India
You are supporting a monopolistic business out here. Just because somebody has published a report on Adani, you are coming to deep state to defend Adani out here. Remember one thing, Sohail bhai, Adani is not India and Adani is also not India. The British committed the same mistake of considering East India Company as England. And look where they went. We kicked the East India Company and ultimately the British Raj from India. So Adani will be kicked out from a monopolistic businesses. And in turn with Adani, the BJP will also be kicked out from India. Sohail bhai, I hope you and we will live together to see that day.
They are winning elections.
Who got kicked out of where?
The deep state like you will continue supporting
them.
The deep state will continue to support them like that.
Kamru,
because you feel that Department of Justice is a barking dog.
You're living in a fool's paradise, Mr.
And the weaponization of Indian investigating agencies. Weaponization of in today's India.
Yeah, okay. Found it ironic that, on a day when the Maharashtra government has been formed, that you say that BJP will be kicked out of.
I think that's tracking BJ's
and there have been several elections. Anyway.
Indian election.
Yeah.
I think Rahul Gandhi is tracking the election.
I said with Adani, BJP will be kicked out.
Okay.
Because they are going to be exposed in the very near future.
It's a free debate. It's a free debate. You can say what you want. It's a democracy. You can say what you want. But I just wanted to end by adding one point because I feel many of our viewers don't know this. I just wanted to state what AstraZeneca said in court and ending with that. They said their vaccine has caused deaths. In UK, they are facing a class action lawsuit. 51 cases have been filed. Let me also tell you, AstraZeneca has admitted in court papers that Covishield can in very cases called TTS. TTS stands for thrombosis with thrombocytopenia syndrome, and this is the vaccine that Congress fought for. while discrediting Covaxin. You can fight for something, but why discredit Covaxin, which OCCRP also targeted? And that is why people have questions. Thank you for joining us. This is a subject we feel will continue in the next few days. Pankaj-ji, Kamru, and Abhijit, Suhail, Savio, and Gyanendra Mishra. Taking a break now. Back with the two big debates with Sucharita at 9 p.m. Stay tuned.
$13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
The banking crisis was one of the biggest legacies that we got from, thanks to them, we got from them in 2014. Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji led NDA government, when they took the office, the gross NPA, GNPA ratio in public sector banks was 16%, and when Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji left the office of Prime Minister, he brought it down to 7.8%. Thanks Atal ji, thank you very much. Phone banking system of the Congress party, where the two P's, you need not be a performer, but you need to be a powerful man with powerful connections in the system. फोन उठा करके इनके नेता बोलते थे लोन दे दो, ड्रोन वापस आएगा कि नहीं देखना नहीं है। नागा हम पार्लियामेंट में खड़े हैं सर। I want to bring to your notice a famous case of 1971. May 24, 1971, there was a phone call. There was a phone call to the parliamentary.
किसी को अगर गलतफहमी हो, 500 वर्ष पहले बाबर के एक सिपह सालार ने जो काम अयोध्या में किया था, जो काम संभल में किया था, और जो काम आज बांग्लादेश के अंदर हो रहा है, तीनों की प्रकृति, तीनों का डीएनए एक जैसा है। गलतफहमी में मत रहना।
$13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
존경하는 국민 여러분, 저는 어제 밤 11시를 기해 국가의 본질적 기능을 마비시키고 자유민주주의 헌정 질서를 붕괴시키려는 반국가 세력에 맞서 결연한 구국의 의지로 비상계엄을 선포하였습니다. 그러나 조금 전 국회의
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic. From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for the debate.
morning. I'm Sucharita Kukreti. You're watching The Debate. Ladies and gentlemen, is Bangladesh under Yunus's interim government charting a path that resembles its painful past as East Pakistan? Recent developments raise pressing questions. Bangladesh has eased visa restrictions for Pakistani nationals, ever eliminating security clearance requirements. A move that made just before Pakistan's High Commissioner met BNP leader Khalida Zia, signaling a deeper realignment. This follows the revival of direct trade shipping routes between the two countries after decades. Such shifts coincide with the growing radicalization concerns as groups like Jamaat-e-Islami reportedly receive Pakistani ISI support to destabilize the nation. Bangladesh's secular identity, forged through immense sacrifice in the 1971 liberation war, appears at risk of dilution as Islamist influence grows in the country. The parallels with Pakistan's trajectory, persecution of minorities, forced conversions, and systemic failures are becoming disturbingly pronounced. Has Bangladesh's current regime forgotten nation's historic struggle to break free from Pakistan's shadow? Or is it willingly, yes, willingly intending to let the country slip back into it? Here's all that you need to know, and then we debate.
Bangladesh just rolled out the red carpet for a country that once occupied it. The interim Yunus regime in Dhaka has enabled visa-free travel for Pakistanis to Bangladesh. In a clear sign of pivoting to Islamic Brotherhood over Bengali nationalism, the Yunus government has lifted the mandatory security clearance for Pakistani citizens visiting Bangladesh. The move effectively makes Bangladesh, which lost 3 million people to genocide by the Pakistani army in the 1971 Liberation War, the biggest cheerleader for Islamabad. While bulldozing Hindu rights and treating minorities as enemies of the state, Dhaka is now playing a gracious host to its former occupier. From standing up to the occupying Pakistani army in 1971 to now enabling visa-free travel, is Bangladesh under a US puppet regime showing signs of radical shift towards Pakistan.
And on the debate, joining me are Major General G.D. Bakshi to present the Indian view. I'm joined by Major General K.K. Sinha. I'm joined by Saddam Hussain. He's a senior council member of Gan Adhikar Parishad, live from Dhaka. I'm also joined by Dr. Zahidul Bari, who's an activist, chairman, Bangladesh Autism Disability Institute, live from Dhaka. But let me begin with Saddam Hussain. Mr. Hussain, I really do not understand. I'm surprised, I'm appalled that a country which is known to be a hub of terrorism world over, why would your country be giving them a security clearance for a visa application, be it a Pakistani from anywhere in the world? Why would Bangladesh do this? I fail to understand.
Because it is your lackings. Why you fail to understand? It is not our lackings. Trade is available between every country, even in case of India, Pakistan, where Pakistan and India are arch-rival countries. They are doing trades and allowing their citizens exchanging the borders. Just see the China-India rivalry. They are also doing trades with China, and China doing trades with India. And there are more than $100 billion trade relationship between India and China, although they are rivals. Just look at the China-US relationship. They seem to be a rival country. But look at the trade relationship between China and India. They are trading for more than $50 billion. So today's world is a world of trade and commerce, a borderless world. Every country irrespective of their political relationship, irrespective of their
Saddam, it is a world, you're saying it's a borderless world. You fought to bring in these borders. Your forefathers fought to bring in these borders. Your forefathers gave their lives. You've forgotten 1971. You've forgotten the Liberation War. You've forgotten the atrocities that were perpetrated on your forefathers, on your sisters, on your mothers. You've forgotten all that in 1971.
To the event unnecessarily. This is not a matter of pointing unnecessarily of 1971.
Is this unnecessary?
2014, you know.
Really?
2014. And
this is unnecessary, Saddam, for you? No, I just want to put this debate into perspective, Saddam. You're saying this is unnecessary. Major General G.D. Bakshi, he is talking about an open border policy. He's talking about the world coming together as one. I appreciate that. But you are opening up a border for somebody that you fought against. You fought against, and you've seen it all. You've seen it in 1971. You've seen the tyranny. They've faced it, but they choose to forget it now. Why do you see this causing up to Pakistan now? Major General G.D. Bakshi,
you fought multiple times against China, but
excuse me.
have opened your border.
Sorry,
right.
we've not opened the borders for China. We've not opened the borders for China.
By the way, my name is
G.D. Bakshi, sir. Major General G.D. Bakshi. Major General G.D. Bakshi on the debate now.
All right.
Getting visas from India.
All right, stop yelling.
Saddam, you've got to listen. You've got to listen. And you've got to see this debate in perspective.
Why not? All right.
So just you are
Major General Bakshi.
There is no other. Can you let somebody else talk?
Event of 1971.
I mean, this man thinks he's got a right to harangue the rest of India. We take turns, in the Indian debates. By the way, thank you. Pipe down. Sucharita, there is no example in the world history of a country that had suffered brutal colonization and exploitation, and that fought a liberation war to free itself. 50 years down the line, that country wants to rejoin its former colonizers.
Absolutely.
Amazing. I have taken part in the 71 war. At that time, Sucharita, there were the Razakars.
Yes.
At that time, they were the Razakars, and they were pimping for the Pakistan army. They were supplying women to the Pakistan army.
Yes.
Right?
But the leaders of
3 million Bengalis were killed.
But the leaders of Pakistan is
look, my dear fellow. Look.
That's why we have to liberate it from them. But there was no colonization.
You are in a civilized debate. That means after you've spoken, you listen to the other.
Saddam.
Can you get that right and stop screaming your head off?
I will choose to respect the sacrifices made by our forefathers. So, and G.D. Bakshi is a war veteran. For us, I would want to give him that respect. You choose who you want to give respect to. You choose to forget your heroes of 1971. That is your choice. I want G.D. Bakshi to speak to the Indian audiences. Let him speak. Let him make his point. Let him make his point on the debate, Saddam. You choose not to respect your forefathers. You choose to forget the sacrifices they made in 1971. It is up to you. And I will give you your point. I will let you make your point. Let G.D. Bakshi complete. Let Major General complete. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Sucharita. The simple fact is that when we were fighting the war in Bangladesh, the Mukti Bahini were fighting shoulder to shoulder with us to free their country. At that time, they were the Razakars who were acting as pimps for the Pakistan army. They were supplying women to the Pakistan army. And the Pakistan army killed 3 million Bengalis. They raped 1 million Bengali women, and 10 million Bengalis were pushed out into India as refugees, leaving India no option but to fight a war to create the conditions for the refugees to go back. Right? here are these grandsons of the Razakars who want to restore their rights to pimp again for the Pakistan army. I have not heard of such a thing in the history of the world. A country that was colonized by the Punjabis of West Pakistan, the Bangladesh was looted. East Pakistan was looted of its resources. In 1970, there was the cyclone Bhola. Millions of Bangladeshis perished, but the Pakistani army did not move a bloody finger. Did not move a bloody finger to help the people of Bangladesh. And that is when they had, lost all faith and respect for their colonizers in West Pakistan. 50 years down the line, we have the grandchildren of the Razakars wanting to merge their country and once again make it a colony of Pakistan. Can you get any lower? Can you sink any lower?
This is ridiculous.
The people of Bangladesh
No, it isn't.
are self-respecting people. Would they want?
This is,
what
this
is
is
ridiculous?
ridiculous.
Were you born?
He is just stating facts.
Were you born then, Mr. Saddam
This is
Hussein?
ridiculous.
It isn't ridiculous, Saddam. He's just stating facts.
We saw that with our eyes.
All
right?
Let me
We
get
saw that
Dr.
with our
Bari into
eyes.
the debate. Let me get Dr. Bari into the debate. What GD Bakshi, what Major General Bakshi is referring to, he's speaking to, is about Operation Searchlight. He's very clearly speaking about Operation Searchlight, where on 25th March 1971, officially, it marked the onset of the genocide of Bangladesh. Now, Dr. Bari, you're free to refute this, but don't you remember how individuals from all walks of life were murdered? There were activists, there were intellectuals, there were troopers, there were innocent civilians, they were all butchered. And what Major General Bakshi was referring to, 2 lakh women being raped, assaulted by the Pakistani military. You've forgotten all that clearly. You're opening, here Saddam is speaking about opening borders to Pakistan. You've forgotten your past, you've forgotten your origin.
Sucharita, once again, I'd like to...
Dr. Bari, Dr. Bari.
I'd like to say, with due respect, Mr. Defense Officer, former Defense Officer,
yes,
who said, I think he said as an insult, because this is fact of 1971 is way back 53 years ago. Now Bangladesh is in 1924. Bangladesh got escaped from the colonization of Sheikh Hasina, even from the colonization of India. You are talking about Pakistan. Yes, it was a colonization, I do believe. Yes, our liberation was needed on that time. But right now, our second liberation was needed from India, and we got it. We got it by our revelation. We got it by our forces and the will force of Bangladesh.
Liberation.
Will force of Bangladeshi people will make Bangladesh established.
You don't even realize, the darkness that you're falling into. Dr. Bari, you don't even realize the darkness that you're falling into. And I really do not care. I should say I really do not care what is really happening. What the thought process that is going on amongst the intellectuals there. If I can call them intellectuals, if they are thinking about opening doors to Pakistan, I really do not know if I can call them intellectuals. But this whole realignment that is happening with Pakistan, please, you need to think, you need to introspect, because you're right. It might be more than 50 years. It might be more than 50 years. But that whole foundation, of Bangladesh happened
with the world again.
Your forefathers lost their lives to make this country, to separate it from Pakistan.
Really independently, without the colonization of India. Bangladeshi people rejected.
India never colonizes, sir. India never colonizes. And that is the mistake you're making. You're making a mistake.
The interference of India.
Major General KK Sinha, I think we need to tell them, India will never have a colonization mindset. We fought the colonization mindset. We don't have a colonization mindset.
Yes, India
we do not have a colonization mindset. And I feel sorry. I feel sorry for people who want to forget their own liberation war. I feel sorry. And also the black hole that you're following, the black hole that you're sinking in, Major General Sinha,
and Bangladesh,
it is the hub of terrorism. People walking down from Pakistan into Bangladesh is my concern, because I have a border with Bangladesh. They don't need security clearance, but I am worried. Major General Sinha on the debate.
Quiet.
Major General Sinha.
Dr. Bari, can you keep quiet? Dr. Bari, can you keep quiet?
I have one point.
Saddam, Dr. Bari is quiet, but Saddam is going on.
I will defend you. I'm ready to defend you.
Okay.
Saddam, can you keep quiet?
Saddam, I have asked Major General Sinha to make his
Saddam, I
point.
can shout more than you.
Your aunt is
I'm Major General K.K. Sinha here. Just keep quiet. You guys are absolutely shameless creatures on the face of the earth. Who is shouting today? Just keep quiet. Dr. Bari, Saddam Hussein, please keep quiet.
Major General
Just
Sinha.
keep quiet.
Listen to us.
Okay,
Sucharita,
all right.
Thank you.
Saddam,
Thank
let
you.
Major General Sinha make his point. It's fair enough.
Thank you. I am General Sinha here. You are not General Sinha. Just keep quiet. Sucharita, you said these scrupulous people, you know, today their population is 18 crore. India's population is 140 crore. That time, Bangladesh, 1971, 53 years back, when we have gone there, because, that time it was 13 crore only. India gave it because Bangladesh, that time, East Pakistan, it is the past of Bengal, was the part of India in the greater sense. But we gave it 73,000 prisoners. India handed over to Pakistan. You know what happened? After 71, within 4 years' time, in 1975, they killed Mazur Rahman, Bang Bandhu, who actually gave them the liberation. They killed their 3 sons, killed his wife, Sheikh Hasina, and her sister was in Germany studying. That's why they were sad.
Who killed?
Bang Bandhu has given you shameless creatures on the face of the earth. India that time.
Who did kill
that
Bang
time
Bandhu?
should not have given you the liberation. Indian soldiers gave their blood. You useless people. Your army, your soldier.
30 lakh people from Bangladesh have sacrificed their lives to secure India.
The time has come and we will not allow you to pass like this. India can capture. When I say we will intervene, we will intervene. You will shit in your pants. The time has come. We have given blood.
Okay, Saddam, let me make this very clear on the debate tonight.
You can't.
Let me make this very clear on the debate tonight.
Let me finish it. Let me
yes,
finish it.
Yes, Major make your point. Make your point. I'm just adding to this.
They are jihadis. These people who are sitting in the Rajakars. These people who are sitting over here is Jamaat Islami people. They are the people who are sitting on Hizbut Tahrir, who wants to bring the Islamic Caliphate in Bangladesh.
You have no knowledge.
They are sitting there underbelly. We will not, mind you, through this debate, I must clear it. If you, what bullshit? You are shameless creature on this earth.
Bullshit.
You want to bring the Islamic Caliphate there?
Internal issues.
Your interim government, Dr. Yunus, is the mole who has been brought in 1972 after 71.
I want to make this very clear. Saddam. When Major General G.D. Bakshi is speaking, when Major General K.K. Sinha is speaking, I give them utmost respect because they are war veterans for us. They are war veterans and we are taught respect for our seniors here. We are taught respect for our seniors here. I will not allow you to disrespect our seniors on the debate. I am very clear, Saddam. I am very clear.
What do you want from me?
We will not allow that thing happen.
It is very, very clear to us as Indians. We do not disrespect our elderly. And we do not allow others to disrespect our elderly. So that is very clear. So Saddam,
we will not allow you to talk.
You put in your point.
Saddam,
I do not allow you to speak over Major General Sinha. Very clearly. You make your point. I will not be allowed to speak over him.
Sucharita, these people who are sitting over here, they are the people from, Jamaat-e-Islami, Hizb ut-Tahrir. Hizb ut-Tahrir is the organization which want to bring the caliphate, Islamic caliphate in Bangladesh. And today they are citing 2 million women were raped, 3 million were killed. And people are talking about today.
They've forgotten the numbers, sir.
Over there.
They've forgotten the atrocities. They've forgotten the tyranny.
Want to cause up this.
Now, Saddam, you're going on ranting. You're going on ranting. Let me just go.
They will not allow this thing to happen.
No, Saddam. Okay, Dr. Bari. Now you don't go the Saddam way. You don't go the Saddam way.
Like this.
Let me speak to Saddam first. Dr. Bari, I will come to you. Can we just have Saddam and GD Bakshi on screen now? Can we just have Saddam and GD Bakshi on screen? Major General Sinha, I'm coming to you. It's very clear, Saddam, now that you were going on and on and on. You will learn from debates in India, you will learn from debates on Republic, that we let our seniors speak. Now that you are going to be making your point, I just want to highlight a few things. Like I said, the Operation Searchlight, I'm sure you've forgotten about it. Over 2 lakh women raped, assaulted by Pakistani forces, you've forgotten about it. Around 3 to 5 lakh people lost their lives. You've forgotten about it. And you don't really care. You're talking about open borders. You're talking about a global order. That's beautiful.
I'm not forgetting. I have not forgot anything.
Oh yes,
what you mentioned. Even I know that happened. Those incidents happened for both Indian and Bangladeshi interested. Bangladesh got independence. India got their security. Bilateral achievement was there in 1971. You don't just talk about bullshit. At the same time, I have not forgotten.
What are you saying? Do you even know how to use your words? Do you even know how to use your words? I can completely make out the kind of mess that is going on in Bangladesh. You don't even know how to choose your words. How would you know how to make the right decisions in Bangladesh? I am not surprised. I am not surprised. No. You know what? The world over. If there's one country that is known and seen as a hub for terrorism, it is Pakistan. And GD Bakshi sir would amplify my point. Major General Bakshi, and one country that is known as the global hub for terrorism, it is Pakistan. Now opening down, having no security clearance for people coming from Pakistan or of Pakistan origin, it is jeopardizing your own security. I don't really care about it. If they want to do that, let them do it. They want a global order. They want a world without borders. But I share a border with Bangladesh, and that is why I'm concerned. Major General GD Bakshi on the debate now, Saddam.
You are disinforming your audience in the way. You are just forgetting. You are forgetting.
I will be forced to mute. I will be forced to put down your fader.
Can I say my piece? I have heard you with patience.
I don't generally do that because that is disrespect. I said that very clearly. I do not disrespect my elderly. I do not disrespect my guests. But if you will not allow him to speak, I will have to do that. Major General GD Bakshi now.
I have heard you with patience.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. Sucharita, at least the learned doctor from Bangladesh was talking calmly. And he made a point which I would like to answer first.
Go ahead.
He said India colonized Bangladesh. When we had captured Dhaka, taken the surrender of 93,000 Pakistani prisoners of war, we shipped them all out of Bangladesh. Tell me, how many Indian soldiers stayed back? Not one. Every one Indian soldier came out of Bangladesh. We did not have to. We could have taken some excuses and hung on. But we handed back Bangladesh to the Bangladeshis. We had helped to free them, and it was now their country. So to equate Pakistan and India, I think it is a travesty of the truth. How many Indian soldiers stayed back? Not one. How many Indian soldiers were there in the time of Hasina Wajid? The point that I'm trying to make is that today Pakistan is a country on the brink of economic collapse. There is chaos in that country and civil war. They are fighting the Baluchis, they are fighting the Sindhis, they are fighting the Pashtuns, they are fighting the Shias, they are fighting amongst themselves and going with a begging bowl, let me finish, going with a begging bowl to United States, to China, to UAE, to Saudi Arabia. Bangladesh had, by 2015, the per capita GDP of Bangladesh had overtaken the GDP of Pakistan. By 2021, Bangladesh per capita GDP had overtaken the GDP of India per capita. Right? This is what we left you. And what did you get from Pakistan? Loot, murder, genocide, rape, mass rape of your women. You can see the statue in Dhaka, with the sari of a Bangladeshi woman being pulled off. Have you seen that statue in Dhaka? If you haven't, you need to move around a bit, right? The simple fact is, India has been very friendly to you. India has done its best to help you to get your economy up. You want to go back to jihadi chaos and anarchy. Like Pakistan, you want to join Pakistan with a begging bowl, going all over the world. Begging bowl. Bhikhari jaisa. Come on, man. I thought the people of Bangladesh had a lot of self-respect and intelligence.
Indeed.
Isn't that a display tonight, Major General G.D. Bakshi? I think it is. Major General Sinha.
I must respond to him a single point, at least. Should I respond?
Yeah, if it makes sense, please go ahead.
Can I come back?
If it makes any sense, please go ahead. Saddam.
Okay, he was talking about our surpassing of India on the basis of per capita GDP, but he is not mentioning that India is stacking us economically in the way that we are exporting more than almost 15 billion from India, and they are importing just below 1 billion from us. This is a clear stacking of our economy. This is clear.
So great.
Disrespecting our.
All the best to you. Your economy is going to boom once you realign yourself with Pakistan. So all the best to you. I think that is a good way that you've chosen for yourself. No. I am actually wishing you all the best. Your economy is going to be booming once you go the Pakistan way.
No.
With the pun intended. Let me make that very clear. No, Major General KK Sinha, this removal of security clearance for Pakistanis and against the backdrop of the persecution of minorities. Do you see Bangladesh going on the way of becoming Pakistan again?
Yeah, they have even, in my judgment and my, what my research says, that Bangladesh even crossed, as far the, fundamentalism is concerned, more than Pakistan today. Pakistan, I'm talking about West Pakistan. Now they want to become East Pakistan, the part of Pakistan. That's why they say not only they are talking about the visa, no security clearance is required, any Pakistani can come. And why they have done it? Because the security clearance, all jihadis are going to be lined. Sucharita, few days back, one ship full of arms, ammunition of Chinese, which has come from Karachi right to Chittagaon. And it has gone. And that's why what you see, what is happening in Bangladesh, whether it is Islamic Chat Sivir or it is the, Hizbul Tahrir, which is now there. Hizbul Tahrir openly saying that they want to make it, Bangladesh as a caliphate, which ISIS wanted to make it to the Southeast Asia as a caliphate of Islam. So it is a very clear line. And what is happening? This, Muhammad Yunus, is exactly stooge of that. He has been brought with design, and that's what he is doing it. The Islamic, Chhatra Sivar, on that, the leaders, he is actually listening to them. Today, 1 crore 30 lakhs Hindus are there. Our concern is that, what they are doing it. Brutally, they are killing them. All things, they are vandalizing it. And what you are saying, they are not giving him the visa to cross over to India. They are having a visa of India, but they are checking it. But they want to bring it Pakistani jihadis so that they can do a jihad war here and make a caliphate. And that is what that is. And that security dangerous, and there's an underbelly of us. We have got a full right to intervene in militarily over there. So when they are talking about open border where?
If they choose to forget the sacrifices of their forefathers, if they choose to forget the tyranny, if they choose to forget their liberation war, it's up to them. We can only wish them best of luck. They're going the Pakistan way. We all know what happens. What happens going the Pakistan way. Let's just wish them best of luck. Let's just wish them best of luck. They want to go the Pakistan way. Let them. That's all I can say. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all of you for joining me on the debate. And moving on, ladies and gentlemen, the BJP and the Samajwadi Party are at loggerheads again. This after Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said the nature and the DNA of what happened in Ayodhya during Babur's era and now in Sambhal and Bangladesh is the same. Now, Samajwadi Party President Akhilesh Yadav hits out at him saying he should first get his own DNA checked. Here's all about that latest face-off and then we debate.
Riots, violence and clincher tapes. The truth about how a mob was instigated to stir unrest in Sambhal could not be suppressed. And while the political face-off continues, listen in to Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath's latest take.
500 वर्ष पहले बाबर के एक सिपह सालार ने जो काम अयोध्या में किया था, जो काम संभल में किया था और जो काम आज बांग्लादेश के अंदर हो रहा है, तीनों की प्रकृति, तीनों का डीएनए एक जैसा है। गलतफहमी में मत रहना।
Reacting to Yogi's controversial DNA remark, the Indie has waded in.
मुझे नहीं पता कि मुख्यमंत्री जी कितना साइंस जानते हैं, मुख्यमंत्री जी ने कितनी बायोलॉजी पढ़ी है, मैं नहीं जानता हूं, लेकिन मैं उनसे एक बार निवेदन करना चाहता हूं कि बार बार वो डीएनए की बात कर रहे हैं, डीएनए की बात न किया करें। और अगर डीएनए की बात करते हैं तो मैं भी अपना डीएनए और हम सब लोग अपना डीएनए चेक कराना चाहते हैं, और मुख्यमंत्री जी आप भी अपना डीएनए चेक करा दो।
The latest findings of the Sambhal probe hint at a larger cross-border conspiracy. The question is, who is attempting to suppress the truth?
Okay, I'm joined by the national spokesperson for the BJP, Sanju Verma. I'm joined by Karan Verma, political analyst on the debate, Vivek Shailesh, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, and Nikhil Jain, political analyst, speaks for the Congress Party. Sanju Verma, let me begin with you. Because the statement that has been given by the UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has really got the opposition angry. Akhilesh Yadav openly saying that we all should be getting our DNA checked, including the Chief Minister. Now, I would leave it to you to set the debate. Set the line of the debate very clearly. The Chief Minister speaks about the similar DNA for people who are perpetuating violence against Hindus in Bangladesh and also the ones who created a havoc in Sambhal. What did he really mean?
Thanks for having me, Sucharita. Let me set the tone and tenor of the debate by making one very important point. At the epicenter of the Sambhal controversy is the fact, and I'm not going to be beating around the bush. The fact is that the Muslim population in Sambhal, which was earlier known as Bhimnagar, is today 77.67%, Hindus at 22%, Christianity at 0.12%, Sikhism at 0.06%, Buddhism 0.03%, and Jainism at 0.02%. The limited point I'm trying to make here is that the growth in the Muslim population right since 2011 in Sambhal has not been organic. It has been inorganic, and with the rise in Muslim population, the rights of Hindus and other minorities in Sambhal like Buddhists, Jains and Sikhs, they have been marginalized, brutalized, and find themselves with their back to the wall. And why the comparison with Bangladesh? Because something similar has happened. Because I always say numbers don't lie. You know, when Bangladesh was formed in 1971, Hindu population was about 27.8%. Today, Hindu population in Bangladesh is 7.6%. Then let's take the example of Afghanistan. In 1990s, there were more than 200,000 Sikhs in Afghanistan. The moment it became a radical Islamist country, which it was not in its initial days of formation, today there are less than 200 Sikh families, less than 200 from more than 200,000 families. So again, what have we seen? We've seen that minorities in a Muslim dominant country find themselves marginalized both demographically and even in terms of their fundamental rights coming under attack repeatedly and in the most brutal manner. Then you look at also the Christian population in Bangladesh. You had more than 250,000 Christians. Aaj, there are less than 8,000 Christian families in Bangladesh. So the limited point is, jahan jahan radical Islam बढ़ता है, वहाँ चाहे हिंदू हो, बुद्धिस्ट हो, जैन हो, सिख हो, उनका जो पॉपुलेशन है उसकी मात्रा में बहुत तेज रफ्तार से घाटा होता है. But the bigger point is this, which Yogi Adityanath said. He said that the Congress party uses the caste narrative to polarize. And I tell you one thing, Sucharita, you look at Maharashtra. Prior to the election, they said Marathas versus non-Marathas. When the Haryana elections were about to be held, they said Jats versus non-Jats. Okay. Karnataka chunav se pehle, Rahul Gandhi's entire narrative was Lingayats versus Vocaligas. Then you look at Uttar Pradesh, it will be non-Jatav Dalits versus Jatav Dalits. So the limited point is that Rahul Gandhi, his acolytes, his alliance partners like Akhilesh Yadav, एक तरफ इनको प्रॉब्लम है जब योगी आदित्यनाथ कहते हैं बटेंगे तो कटेंगे, बट दूसरी तरफ बांटने का और काटने का काम कौन कर रहा है? What was Ram Gopal Yadav's first response to the Sambhal crisis? He said, जहां जहां जब बूथ लूटेंगे तब तब पत्थर चलेंगे, जब बूथ लूटेंगे तब तब पत्थर चलेंगे.
Yes, he said that.
Basically, he was trying to say कि भाई हम तो उत्तर प्रदेश के बाइपोल हार गए.
पत्थरबाजी तो होगी जब पुलिस ऐसी कार्रवाई करेगी. Is what Ram Gopal Yadav said. He also said अगर इस तरह से होगा तो सारे देश में आग लगा देंगे. Now Vivek Shailesh, it's up to you. Now what I am trying to understand is, does anarchy have any kind of place in a civilized society? Does violence have any kind of place in a civilized society? Do anarchists have the same DNA? Do the perpetrators of violence have the same DNA?
The question is to me?
Yes, yes, it is to you, Vivek Shailesh.
Okay. I hope you will not interrupt me, please. Thank you. You know, actually, the Samajwadi Party is worried about the Hindus in Bangladesh, definitely. There's an echo coming, please get it cleared.
Yeah, we'll say that.
The Samajwadi Party is, yeah. Look, the situation in Bangladesh is extremely serious and it's very worrying also. Hindus are being targeted, which every one of us knows, which is incredibly horrible. It is threatening and it is, it is really, situation is really bad. So,
if you're
I think that
Hindus, do you support CAA? Do you support CAA? Jawab dijiye.
I said, please.
Okay, Sanju, let him make his point. Let him make his point. What I want to understand from him today is that I want to understand from him today that
you are a shameless.
Why would you support the ones who are displaying anarchy in a civilized society? Why would you support perpetrators of violence? Okay, Vivek, make your point.
No, definitely. I think the Yogi Adityanath ji should have, questioned the Honorable Prime Minister as to what he is doing and what the central government is doing for the protection of Hindus in Bangladesh. He should have questioned the Prime Minister
You have no
instead of giving such statements.
To question the Prime Minister. First, ask your leader Akhilesh Yadav, does he support the CAA?
Why?
Which gives citizenship status to persecuted minorities in Bangladesh, Afghanistan and Pakistan?
Hindus are being slaughtered.
आप कहते हो Rohingyas को citizenship
Hindus are being slaughtered and you are watching movies.
Hindus in Bangladesh should not be given
You are
citizenship.
watching movies
and
and Hindus are being slaughtered. What do you mean to say? Hindus are being targeted in Bangladesh. They are being slaughtered in Bangladesh. They are living in a horrific situation, and you are watching movies. Oh, forget about CAA. I am more concerned about the security of. Forget your CAA. That is why I don't come. That is the problem with the Bharatiya Janata Party. What have you done for the security of Hindus in Bangladesh? Just tell me that. What steps has the Indian government taken?
I want to ask Vivek. Vivek, I want to ask you tonight, and you haven't really answered my point. So I'll give you another shot at this, and then I'll go to Karan. Vivek, I just want to know what are perpetrators of violence made of? What is wrong in saying that the same DNA is possessed by people either in Bangladesh or in India who are trying to perpetrate violence, who are trying to break into an anarchy?
Let's check my DNA, check your DNA. Whether it's from Babar or it's from somewhere else.
Are you an anarchist?
What are you talking?
I'm certainly not. I'm certainly not. So I don't want to fall into that DNA debate. I'm not going out on the streets and creating havoc. I'm not. But the ones who are,
fall into the DNA debate,
the ones who are seem to be having the same makeup.
The Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh is raising such.
Are you going out on the streets? Are you going out on the streets pelting stones? Are you pointing guns at policemen?
Can I make a point?
If you're doing that, then you fall into the same DNA. Karan, make your point.
Yeah. Vivek ji just asked कि कौन सा DNA है ये? Vivek ji, please.
It's the Bharatiya Janata Party who has supported the stone pelter.
Okay, Vivek, now Karan is making a point.
I was patiently waiting when you were speaking.
To form the government in Kashmir. Don't talk about stone pelter.
Okay.
Don't talk about stone pelter.
Vivek ji said कि कौन सा DNA है ये?
Stone pelters.
So, let me be clear about it. कौन सा DNA है ये? ये जो डीएनए वही है जो मोना आलम ने फरुखाबाद में कहा था वोट जिहाद. दिस इज द डीएनए. जब आपका अबू आजमी जाता है अजहरी से मिलने,
नौटंकी बंद करना
हिंद होगा.
ये कौन आ गया
बाकी है. इट इज दिस
डीएनए लगाया हुआ है यार. क्या डीएनए
यही तो मेंटालिटी है. दिस इज द मेंटालिटी दैट सेड तालिब सालिस टू द कश्मीरी पंडित्स. दिस इज द मेंटालिटी दैट रिजल्टेड इन द एक्सोडस ऑफ हिंदूज इन कायराना. This jihadi mentality needs to be called out. Yogi Adityanath has addressed the elephant in the room. We have to get rid of this mentality. We've suffered enough because of this mentality. Be it Kashmir, be it Kairana, be it Bangladesh. और इससे जब इनको बोला जाता है बटेंगे तो कटेंगे तो इनको दिक्कत हो जाती है.
हर साल कश्मीर में वापस भेजेंगे. एक को भी भेजेंगे.
Acha, Vivek, let him speak. See, I requested Sanju to not speak when you were speaking. Now it's the same request to you. Let him speak. You can't be making your point. You can't be having a complete. You can't be having anarchy take over on the debate. Don't do that. Don't do that.
What have you done?
Tell me when I can speak. I mean, this is not fair.
Don't do that.
Single thing.
And then you're talking about getting your DNA checked. This is exactly what I was saying.
Today, Vivek ji is saying Hindus are being persecuted in Bangladesh. आज उनको चिंता हो गई इस बात की. जब बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट लाना चाह रही है सीएए तो ये कहते थे देयर इज नो परसिक्यूशन. आज वो दिन याद आते हैं आपको? नहीं याद आते. आज आप उसके लिए अपोलोजाइज करते हैं जब आपने सीएए को अपोज किया. जब आप खुद आज बोल रहे हैं हिंदूज आर परसिक्यूटेड इन बांग्लादेश. विवेक जी, टुडे डू यू एग्री हिंदूज आर परसिक्यूटेड एंड अ लॉ वाज नेसेसरी टू रिहैबिलिटेट देम?
शेख हसीना को आप
जिहाद की बात करें, आप भी जिहाद की बात करें, गजवाए हिंद की बात करें, सीए को अपोज करें,
क्रिकेट खेलिए.
This is the hypocrisy. Sucharita, this is the hypocrisy. Any law you made, any effort you do, they stall that effort.
This is not the
hypocrisy. They hobnob with jihadists. They hobnob with those who say, "Abhi Karbala ka antim yudh baki hai." Uske baad yahan par
But what I really feel, what I really feel, Nikhil, you stand up and question the Yogi government, it is fine. You stand up and ask valid questions, it is fine. You as an opposition will ask questions. But to get out on the roads and start violence, creating havoc the way it happened in Sambal is something which will not be tolerated. And that is precisely, you talk about a common DNA between people who are out there to create havoc. That is exactly what the Chief Minister was speaking about. You do not, you cannot, we do not support any form of violence, be it Bangladesh, be it India.
Can I respond?
Yes,
I have 3 points to respond to. Can I please respond?
Go ahead.
So first of all, on the DNA remark, perhaps Yogi Adityanath, if he had gone to a school, he would have known that every single individual in the world has a different DNA. And if you're talking about a similarity in DNA, then his DNA is very similar to yours and to the Pakistani Prime Minister and everybody, because we are all humans. What he's trying to do with the DNA remark is essentially dog whistling, trying to say that it is the Muslims who are wreaking havoc on Hindus in Bangladesh. Okay. It is the Muslims who are wreaking havoc in Sambal. What he's doing as the elected head of the government of the largest state of the country is trying to demonize the entire Muslim community. He's not talking about just the anarchists or the people who took law into their own hands in the city of Sambal. He is linking it to the entire Muslim community. That is the very reason that he had to use the remark like DNA. Karan, come on, let's not be that dense. Let's not be that dense. Let's understand where a dog whistle is being made.
You are
Karan, you and I,
he said this mentality.
Oh, come on.
Then mentality.
To raise the DNA remark. Why do you have to raise the DNA remark?
Muslims here. You are doing that.
Karan, I didn't.
Okay, let me put your question to Sanju Verma. Let me put your question to Sanju Verma. Let me put your question to Sanju Verma as direct as it can be. Sanju, are you targeting the Muslims by the DNA remark?
You know, Sucharita, I'm so glad you asked me this pertinent question. I have done so many debates with
for the security of Hindus in Bangladesh.
I never get tired of saying this. I never get tired of saying this. That today 30% of PM Awas Yojana is allocated to minorities, especially Muslims.
Yes.
33% of Ayushman
is that Muslim appeasement?
अरे security की बात करो भैया.
37% of PM Mudra Yojana
security की बात करिए.
especially Muslims.
बांग्लादेश के हिंदुओं के लिए आपने क्या किया ये बताइए. उनको बचाने के लिए आपने क्या किया?
Young boys and girls have been given scholarships in the last 10 years. And the last
उनके प्राइम मिनिस्टर को बंगला दिया. उनसे क्रिकेट खेला, उनसे गलबैया किया. Why don't you put sanctions on Bangladesh? Why don't you stop trade with Bangladesh? Stop the trade with Bangladesh.
Because Adani has power supply projects in Bangladesh. That is why nothing can be done.
पूरी दुनिया जानती है.
उनके चरण चुंबक करते हैं. I want you to condemn what Ram Gopal Yadav said. Vivek Silas, do you have the guts? जब जब बूथ लूटेंगे तब तक पत्थर चलेंगे. Do you support that statement? Yes or no? आप यहाँ बैठकर बीजेपी को भाषण देते हैं नैतिकता पर. आपके राम गोपाल यादव कहते हैं कि छोटे मोटे जो कोर्ट कचहरी है ना, ये लोगों ने पूरे देश में तबाही मचा रखी है. राम गोपाल यादव is actually undermining the bona fides of a judicial system. He said कोर्ट कचहरी देश में आग लगा देंगे. आपने कंडेम किया ये स्टेटमेंट. ये है आपका डीएनए. आपके जो नेता है मोहित खान एक बार
अरे हिंदुओं को बचा नहीं पा रहे हो या भाषण दे रहे हो. हिंदुओं को बचा नहीं पा रहे हो, सुरक्षा दे नहीं पा रहे हो और यहाँ नौटंकी कर रहे आए हो. हिंदुओं को बचाइए पहले बांग्लादेश में. हाथ पे हाथ रख के मत बैठे रहिए. हाथ पे हाथ रख के मत बैठे रहिए. विश्व गुरु बनने की नौटंकी मत करिए. विश्व गुरु बनने की नौटंकी बंद करिए. बंद करिए विश्व गुरु बनने की नौटंकी. हिंदुओं को बचाइए पहले बांग्लादेश में जाके.
No, but is he speaking about the literal DNA? Is Yogi Adityanath speaking about the literal DNA? Vivek, what I'm trying to ask is he speaking about the literal DNA or is he speaking about that streak of violence on the streets which we need to condemn? And if we are not condemning that, there is a problem.
Let him condemn Ram Gopal.
I know just one thing, that Bharatiya Janata Party and the central government. Oh, let me speak. Ram,
How can you
I just know one thing. I just know one thing, that the Bharatiya Janata Party is unable to save the Hindus in Bangladesh. I just know one thing, that the Modi government has failed to protect the Bangladeshi Hindus. The central government, Modi ji, has totally failed to protect the Hindus in Bangladesh. You have done nothing.
She's talking about Ram Gopal Mishra now.
What have you done?
She's talking about Ram Gopal Mishra now.
What have you done?
No, she's talking about Ram Gopal Mishra now. She says that why was everyone quiet? Why was everyone quiet? Why were there there was nobody running up to Bahraich when Ram Gopal Mishra was killed brutally? No one made even an attempt to go to Bahraich. Nobody wanted to go to Bahraich. Everyone wants to now go, even though they know that there are restrictions imposed. Everyone wants to run to Sambal. Okay. Nikhil and Karan. Nikhil and Karan.
Can I please complete the points I was making?
All right, Nikhil and Karan on screen.
Can I please complete? Can I please complete the points I was making? Secondly, you asked a question about CAA, that do you support CAA or not? Personally, if I have to answer that, I will support the CAA but not the NRC. And what the Modi government has done in the CAA that it has brought, that it has put a cut-off mark of 2014. So the Hindus that are facing persecution in Bangladesh today, they will not be covered by the CAA. Rohingyas who've been facing persecution in Myanmar after 2014, they will not be covered today. So let's
do you want it to be revised?
The CAA remark, and let them also come out with numbers on how many people have gotten fast-track citizenship because of CAA.
Sucharita, this is very interesting now.
Karan, I did not
he just agreed with CAA in principle. He now in fact wants its scope to be widened.
Let's not.
This is a very interesting.
No, it's been adopted now. He has no option but to support the CAA.
Let me complete.
It is the rule of the land now.
No.
It is the rule of the land now. You will have to support.
Hold on. Sucharita, I'm sorry, that's not how it works. I'm a lawyer.
That is exactly what you just said. You just said that not just 2014, it should be extended.
Go to the court. Go to the court.
I am so glad.
No, what I'm trying to say is everyone makes these big statements on national television, but you do not approach the court. Because it looks nice to make. It looks nice to debate.
My third point. Can I make my third point?
Okay. I really don't have much time left on the debate now.
The leader of opposition of the LoP Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, tried to go to Sambal where there is a security situation. According to Rahul Gandhi, but according to the UP government,
why don't they ever speak on Bangladesh? Is my question.
Hold on.
No, why would the opposition not speak on Bangladesh about all the atrocities on Hindus in Bangladesh? They would not go to Bahraich, but they want to go to Sambal. They want to go to Sambal. See, I'm very clear. I'm not left on the time. I'm not left with time on the debate. It is very, very clear that there seems to be a similar makeup for violence perpetrators, for anarchists, and is that the DNA the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh is speaking about? It is for our audiences to decide. Thank you so much to all of you for joining me on the debate.
$13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
Star India badminton player PV Sindhu, who has won 2 Olympic medals in the sport, is set to tie the knot with IT professional Venkata Datta Sai in this December. The wedding celebrations will kick off on December 20th, with the ceremony taking place in Udaipur on December 22nd.